Let's give Jonathan Huberdeau some credit. He's not happy, but he admits he's got to be better. That's on him. So what does he have to do? What's wrong with his game right now, Craig?
Well, what I would describe Jonathan Huberdeau is this way. He's like a clogged pipe. And when a pipe gets clogged, the water might trickle through it a little bit. And it's kind of where Huberdeau finds himself. You see kind of that skill coming through in spurts, but not consistently. There's no flow to his game. If there was such a thing as hockey Drano, that's what Jonathan Huberdeau needs. He needs to clear those pipes, those hockey pipes. And he talked today about how he feels that he's working hard, but he says, I'm not working smart. And that's exactly what I see in a player. I see a player that's trying to make perfect plays. I see a player that's trying to finesse everything, that's trying to make the perfect play. And now when you start to try to get everything in an exact perfect spot, the pass has to be perfect, the shot has to be perfect, you're delayed. And I think that everything in his game is delayed right now. He has been too good a player for too many years prior to his stint in Calgary for him to find himself in this spot. It does happen. Now, Gino, I was asked this today, too. Have I lost faith in him? Now, he's in the beginning of an 8-year contract. And as a manager, you can't lose faith at this point in time. You got to look for solutions. You work with the coach, try to figure out what are some of the things. You talk to the player, and you try to get him back to a point where he can start to know and feel, this is my game and this is what I get it back to. The game is never going to be perfect, and I think he's trying to be too perfect in his game. And so this is when you got to give some support to the player, and you got to try to find that solution through support, because it's through the hardest times that players need support. And to me, his body of work before he came to the Calgary Flames speaks volumes. As a manager, and I think as an organization, you have to find those solutions and help them work through that right now.
You used the clogged pipes and the Drano thing. I was just waiting for you to pull out the plunger, but that didn't happen. Now, Craig, as you mentioned, what makes this really complicated is the fact that Huberdeau's just 2 months into an 8-year monster deal, so he isn't going to go anywhere. You were a general manager in this league. If you were Craig Conroy, would you be worried about the way Ryan Huska is handling Huberdeau right now?
Not one bit. The conversations between coaches and managers are regular. They're every day. You're talking. How Jonathan Huberdeau is viewed through the lens of the coach is exactly how he's being viewed through the lens of the general manager. And you're talking and you're thinking, okay, what do we got to do? Where do we put him? Do we put him with this player? Do we put him in this situation? You're talking to the player. And, you know, that's the reality of the NHL and the coach-manager relationship. So Craig Conroy wants the best for Jonathan Huberdeau. So does Ryan Huska. And I think that when Jonathan Huberdeau talked today about Huska and I talked it out, that's the important part of it here. And there's going to be decisions in the course of a game that a coach is going to have to make. Because keep this in mind, Gino, we can talk about the $10.5 million on the cap hit for Jonathan Huberdeau. Ryan Huska also has to hold the team and the rest of the team accountable. $73 million has to be taken care of too. So you can extrapolate the 10.5, but you also have to show to the 73 million that, hey, I'm serious about accountability. And certainly that's where Huberdeau found himself in the game on Tuesday night.
Good math. As mentioned, Huberdeau hasn't scored in 8 games, one shy of his longest goal-scoring drought last season. Next up for Calgary, the Leafs, Friday night here on TSN.